What this man discovered was beyond horrifying. And it should have never been found. Grotesque creatures lurking in the shadows.
Look at that! That's impossible!
Monstrous figures with unnatural movements, and bizarre hybrids that defy explanation.
Oh my god, what the man?
These terrifying encounters prove some things are better left unseen. Night fishing was supposed to be rewarding, but this catch made the angler regret ever casting his line. The creature he reeled in had an unnatural body, too many limbs, a disturbingly smooth, pinkish skin that glowed under the dim light. It almost looked like a sea pig, but something about it was wrong. This man had spent years fishing these waters, yet this thing didn't belong to anything he had ever seen before. How did it even end up here? And more importantly, was it alone? He wasn't planning on finding out. Pulsing mystery. Videos of strange creatures surface all the time, but this one was different. A bizarre, fleshy mass with bubble-like formations covered its body, shifting slightly as if alive. It looked slimy, almost pulsing, with long, thin tendrils stretching from its sides. Its unsettling colors, eerily similar to exposed flesh, made it even worse. Some believe it's a deep-sea creature, others suspect a mutation, but no one can say for sure. It doesn't look like anything people have seen before, and until experts figure it out, the mystery stays unsolved. Monster from Abyss. The ocean hides giants, and sometimes they end up in the wrong place. A group of fishermen hauled in what they thought was an ordinary catch, until they saw it up close. A massive, shark-like creature with its mouth stretched wide, revealing rows of jagged, needle-like teeth. Its rough, dark skin looked built for the crushing depths, and its sheer size dwarfed the men standing next to it. It wasn't just a big fish. It was something out of nightmares, a true monster from the abyss that had somehow surfaced. Haunting encounter. You better not visit abandoned places at night. This video is proof of that. A guy, driven by curiosity, decided to check out his ancestors' old, abandoned house. A simple, quick visit. But what unfolded was far from ordinary. In the backyard, something emerged from the shadows. It had a gaunt, skeletal figure, its face disturbingly human, yet it moved on all fours, like an animal stalking its prey. He barely had time to process the horror before him when, in an instant, it morphed. Now it resembled a dog, its features eerily familiar, but wrong, like a skinwalker. Perhaps this one had seen him too, and chose to blend in. See through you. Some things are better left unseen. A viral video showed a gloved hand holding what looked like a transparent reptile. It was a chameleon, sort of. Instead of blending into its surroundings, its entire body was tinted red, while its bones gleamed through its see-through skin. Viewers were baffled until they realized what they were looking at. It was a diaphanized chameleon, a specimen chemically altered to expose its inner structure for scientific study. While harmless, the eerie sight of a colorless reptile with its skeleton on display was enough to make people uneasy. Deep Sea Mystery. A fisherman in Zhejiang Province, China, pulled up his net expecting the usual catch. But what he found was anything but normal. At first, he thought it was a small alligator, but its skin was too smooth, almost like a dolphin's. Experts quickly recognized it. A beaked whale, a rare deep-sea species that usually stays over 16,000 feet below the surface. This one was small, likely a calf, and completely out of place. Beaked whales almost never appear near shore. It looked like maybe it was lost. Either that, or something forced it to rise from the depths. The armed fish. Locals in Thailand couldn't believe their eyes when a bizarre creature surfaced in a nearby river. It floated eerily, its face disturbingly human-like, yet its body was stiff, almost artificial. Smooth, hairless skin stretched over its frame, and what appeared to be a clawed hand emerged from the water, earning it the nickname Armed Fish. Theories ran wild. Was it a government experiment, an alien spy, or just an elaborate hoax? Some pointed out its resemblance to a salamander, hinting that it could be a species no one had ever documented before. Whatever it was, no one wanted to get too close. Geelong River Mystery. On January 5th, 2018, a man resting by Singapore's Geelong River Bridge noticed something strange moving in the water. He managed to capture a video before it vanished, and what it showed was baffling. A creature with a fin, a long tail, and a wide mouth with whiskers. It looked like a mix between a monitor lizard and a catfish, yet it didn't quite match either. Experts analyzed the footage, with some suggesting it could be an oddly shaped giant catfish. Others weren't so sure, until another sighting confirms what it really was. This aquatic enigma remains unsolved. Bunyip caught? Australia is full of bizarre creatures, but one sighting had locals scratching their heads. A man kept spotting something strange in the swamp, but it always vanished before he could get a clear look. Determined to solve the mystery, he set up a camera. What he captured sent chills down his spine, a bullet-shaped head emerging from the murky water. Authorities analyzed the footage and linked it to the bunyip, a legendary creature said to lurk in swamps and billabongs. Some dismissed it as a misidentified animal, while others believed the mythical predator had finally been caught on camera. With no clear explanation, the swamp was soon declared off-limits. But even now, locals whisper about what might still be lurking in the water. Tree clinger. A strange video from Russia had the internet buzzing. A man spotted an odd creature clinging to a tree. Not a squirrel, but something far stranger. Its limbs looked better suited for swimming than climbing, and its wide, unblinking eyes resembled those of a frog. Even weirder, it didn't seem afraid of humans. Unlike most wild animals, it just stayed there, watching. Theories poured in. Some thought it was a bizarre fish-squirrel hybrid, while others suspected genetic experiments or even something extraterrestrial. Could it be a rare mutation? Maybe. But in a world where science keeps pushing boundaries, who knows what's out there? Fish with legs. Florida storms can bring all kinds of surprises, but this one was straight out of a sci-fi movie. A man stumbled upon a fish with legs. He had never seen anything like it. Hoping for answers, he uploaded a video online. Many were quick to call it a frogfish, a species with fins that have limbs that are used for crawling. But something was off. It didn't quite match the usual look, almost as if the storm had altered it in some way. Uncooked horror. A disturbing clip surfaced online, sending chills down everyone who saw it. A strange, pale creature was sizzling in a skillet, its skin smooth, its limbs eerily human-like. But what really got people was its bulging, blue eyes, wide open as if frozen in shock. It resembled a chicken in shape, but no chicken had eyes like that. Speculations ran wild. Was it an alien? A mutated amphibian? Or something that wasn't meant to be cooked in the first place? No one knows who filmed it, and until more answers appear, the mystery remains unsolved. Drifting horror. In 2017, a man in Brunei stopped in his tracks at the riverbank. Something was floating just beneath the surface, moving with the current. Its mouth was wide open, revealing rows of sharp teeth, but it wasn't gasping, struggling, or reacting. It was just there, face up, frozen in an unnatural stillness. People gathered, whispering theories. Was it a rare deep-sea species that had drifted too far? Or something not meant to be found at all? Whatever it was, one thing was clear. It didn't belong there. Bizarre hybrid. Just when you think you've seen every creature on Earth, something like this pops up. A strange video took the internet by storm, showing what looked like a normal goat peacefully grazing. But as the camera zoomed in, things got disturbing. Its body wasn't that of a mammal. It was segmented, like an insect. Multiple legs twitched unnaturally, moving in sync, completely unnatural for a goat. People were baffled. Was it a scientific experiment gone wrong? A genetic mutation? Or something that wasn't supposed to exist at all? Whatever it was, it had no business walking among us. Uninvited guest. Coming back home after a vacation should be relaxing, but for this guy, it was anything but. The moment he stepped inside, he knew something was wrong. The air felt heavy. Then, he saw it. Something was moving in his house. Not human. Not an animal. It was tall, with sickly, pale skin and limbs that stretched too far. Its face, if you could even call it that, was distorted, as if two heads were fighting for space. A second mouth gaped near its neck, frozen in a twisted expression. Some say these beings sense fear. The more you panic, the closer they get. Arizona Nightmare. Pretty sure this is what nightmares are made of. A man in Arizona spotted something crawling near his home, and it sent chills down his spine. At first, it looked like a scorpion. Its body was too thin, its wings stretched too long, and its stinger curled in a way that seemed almost unnatural. He took a video and posted it online. Within hours, panic spread. Then, a biologist finally identified it. It was just a Mecoptera, a harmless insect. It may look like something out of a nightmare, but there's nothing to fear. Faceless goats. Not every viral video is easy to explain. One strange clip had the internet in disbelief. A pair of baby goats playing in the grass, but their faces were missing. Smooth, featureless heads, no visible eyes, nose, or mouth. Even stranger, their ears seemed almost like wings. The footage spread fast, leaving viewers unsettled. Was this a genetic mutation? A hoax? Or something even weirder? Whatever the case, it was hard to look away from these eerie little creatures. Mexico encounter. Stopping for a break on a quiet road should have been uneventful. Instead, a tourist in Mexico found himself staring at something that didn't belong. A figure in the distance moved strangely, walking on two legs, until it suddenly dropped to all fours and rushed toward him. Fast. Stories of Nahualis, shapeshifters who blur the line between human and beast, echoed in his mind. But just as fear took hold, the creature halted. It stood still, watching. Without a second thought, the tourist jumped back into his car and sped away. Walking shadow. Shorelines hide more than just shells and seaweed. A beachgoer wading through the water noticed something beneath the surface. At first, it looked like floating debris. Then it moved. Not with the tide, but deliberately, as if walking. A tiny humanoid shape, fully submerged, stepping forward like the ocean was its home. Could it be an unknown species? A creature from the deep that wandered too close? If it was meant to stay hidden, this one had made a mistake. Unexpected find. At the beach, many collect seaweed floating in the water, taking it home as a simple treasure. One angler, however, stumbled upon something entirely unexpected. On January 13th, 2021, in Bang Pakong River, Thailand, he spotted a strange creature drifting on the surface. Intrigued, he picked it up, believing it to be seaweed. But as he examined it closer, he discovered it had dozens of legs, writhing in a disconcerting dance. Later, it was identified as a bristle worm, a freshwater creature that appears more frequently in cooler seasons. Yet for him, it was a first. a haunting reminder that the water holds mysteries best left undiscovered. Azov Enigma. Fishermen in Russia's Rostov region were pulling up their nets when they were met with something beyond belief. A shark-like creature emerged, but instead of the usual silent struggle, it let out eerie, squeaky sounds, almost like it was trying to communicate. The catch weighed nearly 220 pounds, and its head and body structure were unlike anything they had seen before. Villagers whispered about old legends, tales of mermaids and unknown sea beings lurking beneath the waves. Some experts suggested it was just a type of ray, but the Service for Anomalous Phenomena has yet to confirm anything. Washed up horror. Beachgoers expecting seashells and driftwood were met with something out of a nightmare. A massive, decayed carcass had washed ashore, its exposed flesh and twisted remains making it nearly unrecognizable. The elongated body and what looked like fins or limbs hinted that it might have once been a dolphin, seal, or even a large fish. Marine animals often break down in bizarre ways, giving them monstrous appearances. Over the years, many such discoveries have turned out to be decomposed whales or seals. But what if this one was something else? No official identification was made. Midnight Stalker. Some things are better left unseen. A guy glanced out his window at midnight, expecting to see a stray dog. But what he saw wasn't a dog at all. It looked kinda human, or at least its face resembled one, and it was staring right at him. Stories of skinwalkers had already spread around the area. Beings that could mimic animals, but never quite perfectly. This one stood motionless, watching, observing. Then, in the blink of an eye, it was gone. Next time you see a dog at night, look again. Slithering catch. Fishing trips usually involve catching fish, but for these two friends, it was something completely unexpected. While pulling in their line from a freshwater canal, they felt a struggle. At first, they thought it was just tangled in weeds, until they saw movement. It wasn't a fish. It was a massive iguana, nearly 4 feet long. It must have been swimming across when it accidentally got hooked. Carefully, they pulled it in, amazed by its size, before deciding to let it go. As soon as they released it, the iguana darted into the water, vanishing like a mini Godzilla. A once-in-a-lifetime catch. Sneaky otter. A carpenter was working in his garage near the woods when something small reached out from a hole in the wall. Tiny hands stretched toward the truffle he was holding, fumbling for a grip. After a brief struggle, the little intruder finally snatched it. As it took a bite, its face appeared. An otter. The unexpected visitor munched happily, whiskers twitching in delight. Not the usual sight for a carpenter's workshop, but apparently this otter had no problem sneaking in for a gourmet snack. Unnatural catch. Confusion rippled through the local community when a fisherman revealed his bizarre catch. He pulled a large fish from the water, seemingly ordinary at first glance, but its face was unsettling, bizarrely wide, with a flat snout and a rounded mouth that bore an uncanny resemblance to a pig's face. It felt unnatural, as if the ocean had conjured something from the depths of nightmares. Rumors swirled among the townsfolk, suggesting that scientists were experimenting with hybrids and releasing them into the water. Little did he know, he had unwittingly pulled something far more sinister from the depths. Baby dragon. A local in China captured something unbelievable while filming at a canal. As he enjoyed the quiet, a small, scaly creature swam toward him, its tiny horns giving it an almost mythical look. It resembled a newly hatched dragon, its features too unusual to dismiss as a common reptile. The footage spread fast, igniting debates. Some claimed it was a prehistoric species that had somehow survived in isolation, avoiding human contact. Legends say dragons prefer hidden places, far from prying eyes. If this one truly came from such a world, it may have wandered too far from home. Gliding mystery. A woman in a quiet residential area glanced up and spotted something moving across the sky. It wasn't a plane, a drone, or any bird she recognized. With its elongated body, leathery wings, and a sharp beak-like mouth, it looked like it belonged to another time. Some dismissed it as a misidentified stork, while others were convinced they had just seen something prehistoric in flight. If a creature like this had somehow remained undetected for so long, it was now making its presence known. Whatever it was, it left more questions than answers. The petrified crab. Deep beneath the ocean's surface, divers pushed through thick seaweed and debris, searching for anything unusual. What they found was far beyond expectation. A massive shape rested on the seafloor, its form barely visible under layers of marine growth. At first, it seemed like a rock, until they saw the legs. A colossal crab, frozen mid-motion, its giant claws outstretched as if time itself had stopped it. Its entire body had turned to stone, an eerie transformation that left one question lingering. How long had it been down there, waiting to be discovered? Pig-faced fish. An underwater camera picked up something so bizarre that viewers had to rewind just to believe their eyes. A creature swam smoothly past, its body unmistakably fish-like, but its face was that of a pig. A rounded snout, small horns, and beady eyes, all in the wrong place. The footage spread fast, sparking debates. Some suggested a hybrid, others a mutation. Scientists stepped in, trying to make sense of it, but no definitive answers surfaced. Whatever it was, it's still out there, waiting to either be explained or seen again. Chicken crab. A quiet park near Salt Lake City just became the center of something bizarre. A strange creature was caught on camera, and it was unlike anything seen before. It had the body of a chicken, but the legs of a crab. That's right, a chicken crab. It scuttled across the ground, pecking at the dirt, moving in a way that made no sense. Where did it come from? No one could say. A mutation? A new species? Or something created in a place no one is supposed to know about? No explanations? Just one unsettling creature and endless speculation. Thirsty surprise. Not every strange sighting is a mystery. Some just need a closer look. A fisherman preparing to set sail noticed a gray face peeking from the water near the dock. It had tiny, hand-like appendages reaching for a water hose, clinging to it tightly, as if trying to take a sip. For a moment, it looked like some unknown sea creature that preferred fresh water over salt. But as he stepped closer, the truth surfaced. It was a manatee. What seemed like hands were actually its mouth, wrapping around the hose for a drink. No deep-sea horror this time, just a thirsty visitor. Metallic reptile. A local spotted a reptile lying still on the ground, looking unwell, but something nearby caught his eye. A metallic object. When he pulled it, a whole chain started emerging from the reptile's body. It kept coming out, until it suddenly stuck to the creature's skin, as if some invisible force was pulling it back. The unnatural reaction sparked wild theories. Was this some kind of biomechanical hybrid, altered for secret experiments? Or had it simply swallowed a magnet by accident? Whatever the truth, the sight of metal coming from a living creature was something no one could explain. Unknown crawling thing. A strange video appeared online, and no one could figure out what they were looking at. A scaly, worm-like creature crawled slowly across the ground, its movements odd and unsettling. Some thought it was a caterpillar, others guessed a bristleworm, but none of those seemed right. Eventually, an expert identified it as a sea mouse, a type of marine worm. Still, many weren't convinced. It didn't quite match the usual appearance of a sea mouse, leaving people wondering if something even stranger had been caught on camera. Dolphin eel. By a freshwater stream in New Zealand, a man sat back, enjoying the calm, when something unusual broke the surface. A small, beak-like shape appeared, followed by a sleek body slipping through the water. For a second, he thought he was seeing a tiny dolphin, but as it moved, the truth became clear. It was a long-fin eel. These creatures are known for their smooth, curving movements, often earning the nickname dolphin eel for how they resemble young marine mammals at first glance. A rare sight, but not the mystery he first imagined. Sewer serpent. Workers inspecting a sewer filmed something that quickly spread across the internet. The footage showed a dark, damp drainage pipe, but the real shock was the thing inside. A long, twisting form slithered through the shadows, its movement too fluid to be a simple object. Some believed it was a massive snake lurking beneath the city, hidden where no one would dare to look. Others argued it was just a flexible cleaning pipe. But sewers have always been home to strange, unexplainable creatures. Mutated beings thriving in the dark, feeding on waste, and avoiding human eyes. Whatever was in that footage, it left many questioning what really lives underground. Sea cow hybrid. A strange creature washed ashore, leaving everyone stunned. It had the body of a sea seal, but its face looked exactly like a cow's, complete with horns. It wasn't weak or struggling. In fact, it moved like it had always belonged in the water. Rumors spread fast. Some believed scientists had been secretly experimenting on marine life, releasing hybrids into the ocean. Others thought these creatures were engineered to restore damaged ecosystems. But maybe nature itself had a hand in creating this bizarre being. If this one exists, who knows what else is lurking beneath the waves? Parasite infestation. A fisherman was startled when something flopped onto his boat's deck. It was a fish, but something was horribly wrong. 3 black worm creatures protruded from its body, wriggling as the fish struggled. The sight was disturbing. At first, he thought it had a strange infection, but then he realized these were parasites, creatures that latch onto fish, draining nutrients and slowly weakening them. It was unlucky to be infected, but by landing on the boat, maybe it had found a chance to survive. 3-eyed catch. Brooklyn's Gowanus Canal is infamous for its pollution, but what a fisherman pulled from its toxic waters was beyond strange. On November 8, 2015, while fishing from a bridge, he caught a catfish, but this one had 3 eyes. The canal, once Brooklyn's industrial hub, is now one of the most contaminated waterways in the US, filled with waste and chemicals. Some believe the extreme pollution may have triggered bizarre mutations like this. While many found the story believable, some scientists remain skeptical. But in a place known for its filth, who's to say what's lurking beneath the surface? Camo sea flyer. A fisherman spotted something unusual drifting in the water. It wasn't a fish or any familiar sea creature. It had wing structures that let it glide smoothly beneath the surface, almost as if it was flying underwater. When the video spread online, people scrambled to identify it. Some thought it was a baby sea slug, while others believed it was an unknown marine species, perfectly camouflaged. With so much of the ocean still unexplored, some wonder if creatures like this have always been there, just out of sight. Was this a newly discovered species, or something we were never meant to see? Now it's time for today's subscribers' pick of the day, and I am seriously questioning this one. Sewers are full of creepy crawlies, but this discovery sent a chill down investigators' spines. Authorities were called in after eerie sounds echoed through the underground tunnels. They found something on a pipe, but the real shock came when they pulled it free. It had an unsettling, almost cartoonish face, disturbingly real yet unnatural. Its many legs twitched, its body shifting colors like it had evolved to survive in the darkness. Mutations happen in extreme conditions, but this thing looked too bizarre. Like, too bizarre to be even considered real. So yeah, I am calling this A-generated. If you agree, comment down below. And thanks for watching.